What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Future Affiliate Pro. In this video today, I'm really excited to bring you my recent interview I got to do with the CEO of legendary marketer, Mr. Dave Sharpe. It is about 50 minutes long. I promise you it's going to be well worth your time. There's tons of knowledge bombs and lots of good things for you guys, especially if you guys are beginners and you're trying to start off on the right foot. I think this video is going to be perfect for you. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys at the end.
All right, my friends, this is Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. If you want to learn the 5 things that successful affiliate marketer Jamar would do in 2021, then you're going to want to tune in to this live today. He's going to bring heat. He's a repeat guest on our show, and he has had some incredible success over this year. He's full-time, I believe, still in the military. He can tell you about that and give you that update. But I'm incredibly thrilled, honored, and excited to talk back with my good friend, Jamar. Can you hear me, my friend?
I can. Good morning, Dave. Good morning, legendary community. Merry Christmas.
Dude, so good to see you. You are looking, as I commented before we went live, extra crispy.
Yeah, nice and clear.
Showing up, showing out for this new year. It wasn't always like this. I'm sure for you, looking all crispy and professional on the internet. There was once a time that you were just a scrub in your garage, like I
am. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I started on like an 8-year-old laptop with a really bad. I don't even think it was 720. The webcam, so it was all grainy, but that's how I got started.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, I think I'm in high definition. This is as high def as I'm going to be today, everybody. So just let's keep the focus on Jamar. I just had a baby. I'm in the garage. I'll be back in the office here at the beginning of the year. But this is not about me. It's about you today, brother. And you're coming back. You're giving us an update on your business, on how things are going. And then, of course, we're going to get to those 5 things that you would do or are going to do in 2021 that you're being so generous to share with all of us. Briefly, in a nutshell, before we get into these 5 things, give us a backstory. I mentioned that you're full-time in the military. I'm sure that's something. Thank you for your service, first and foremost. And give us a nutshell of kind of who you are, how you even got started, what eventually led you to Legendary.
Okay, so I am a almost 18. This February will be 18 years active duty in the Coast Guard. I've moved and lived all around the country. I've lived in places like Florida and New Jersey, North Carolina, Massachusetts, and now Texas for the last 5.5 years. My service has been my pleasure. It's been a dream job of mine for 18 years, and I'm going to get ready to retire here in a couple of years. But it's been an amazing run, serving the public and doing what I like to do, what I enjoy every single day. So my story my story starts at the end of 2018. The Coast Guard actually was going through something unprecedented because there were budget constraints. Like, they hadn't passed a budget, and the Coast Guard falls within the Department of Homeland Security. So we ended up going without a paycheck for multiple paychecks, and that vulnerability started making me, because my wife was in nursing school, and that vulnerability made me start looking for different ways to earn extra income, side income. And I started with drop shipping. That lasted 3 months. I hated it. And then I found a couple really YouTube influencers that kind of convinced me that affiliate marketing was the right way to go. So in March of 2019, I dived in, and it's been an amazing journey ever since.
Yeah.
So also, how I found Legendary is September of 2019. I started seeing a lot more content around Legendary, but I didn't actually jump in until February of 2020. So I've been with you guys for So now about 10 months.
Yeah. And we've, handed out your TikTok handle to various people who are coming in who want to see how it's done. And, you're now expanding. I'm excited though to hear these kind of 5 tips that you have for people, because you're sort of in that sweet spot to where I hope that every single person gets to. Okay. And here's what I mean. It's not that, it's not that I'm not talking about that. Oh, Jamar's out here, making millions, riding around in Lamborghinis. I mean, that's something that you want in your future, brother. I'm sure you can achieve it. But where you're at right now is this wonderful, really, really, it's this milestone to where you've had some success. You've made some good money. You've made more than the average person. You know what I mean? Like the average person who starts an online business, you've exceeded that. And you know that you can do this, you know that it's real, and now you're on fire. And that is something that I hope everybody can hear and see and identify with your story. And I want to congratulate you for that, for getting there, man.
Thanks, Dave.
Dude, it's so many people stop right before the miracle happens, and you have persevered through. You've worked hard. It's all because of your efforts and your determination. And I just hope that everybody understands what that milestone that he's reached is. And because from there, the sky's the limit. It's really getting to that first, like, can I make $10,000? Can I make $20,000 doing this, to where I can prove that it's legitimate? Because nobody's going to continue with something if they make like a couple of $100s in a year. Look, you can go mow lawns and do that. But if you can make a few thousand, if you can get to 10, 20,000, to where it's like, man, this is some serious. Now, that's not a guarantee. That's not what the average person does. I just want to be clear about that. But you've achieved those sort of results, and it's a big inspiration to have you on. So talk to us. Are we going to go number 1, number 5? Are they in order? Are they your number 1 to your number 5? Take it away.
They were in no particular order. But
okay, let's start off with the first one.
What I want to explain to people is that I'm no different from anybody else, except for really these 5 things that I'm about to go over. And I am no different from the next person. I have a wife. I have a career. I have 3 kids. I have a 14-year-old Jack Russell. My kids have hobbies. My wife's in school. It's busy. I work on my affiliate marketing business from 9 p.m. typically, from 9 p.m. until 1 a.m. So I do this completely on the side. For me, it's become a passion. I love affiliate marketing and I love teaching people. So where I've gone with this is building something that I for the first year, I didn't even really believe in myself or the process. And I didn't know, I made less than $500 for an entire year, right? I paid more in softwares and tools and stuff like that. But I kept going. And that's what I always keep telling people, just keep going. You will see success as long as you never quit. All right. So let's get into this top 5 here. I'm going to look over to my right because I want to make sure I don't forget anything. But this is going to be kind of my headline and not a disclaimer, but this is my advice to everybody out here. Publish every single day for an entire year and your life will never be the same. Okay. And that segues into find your platform. It doesn't matter what it is. If you want to blog. If you want to YouTube and make, YouTube videos every single day, do that. If you want to TikTok, do that. If you want to do Facebook organic, do that. If you want to be a paid ads guru and be really good at like Google and Facebook ads, do that. Just find whatever platform you just choose one and go all in for an entire year. Create content like a madman. Even if it's bad, put it out there because somebody will resonate with it. For me, I started my YouTube channel in July of 2019. So I'm like a year and a half in. I had a goal of 5,000. I started with 500 subscribers in January 1st of this year. And my goal was 5,000. I passed that and I'm now shooting for 6,000 by the end of the year. right? I chose YouTube because that's where I believe people can build an audience that really knows, likes, and trusts you. And I believe for a long-term strategy, everybody should be using YouTube. I started with YouTube. I then kind of segued this year into really leveraging TikTok. And then in June, I started building my Facebook group. I didn't always have, a 10,000 person email list and a Facebook group and a YouTube channel with 6,000 people. This has been a year and a half in the making, right? This has been the evolution of my journey, my story. I started with one platform though. I really just started with YouTube and just tried to start figuring that out. And in the process, once I started getting traction, I brought in another platform because I was comfortable. And then I brought in a Facebook group, right? It's just been leveling up. And as I do that, I'm able to provide people with more and more and more value and more education. And then what that leads into is a huge audience now, right? I mean, if you took all of my platforms up and just smashed them, there is some crossover, but I mean, you're talking about, 125,000 to 150,000 people, right? And I started at zero. Everybody starts at zero. But over the course of the last year and a half, almost really 2 years, this March will be 2 years in digital marketing and affiliate marketing, 125,000 people. That's a whole lot of people that I have access to. And it makes things a whole lot easier when you have that audience. Man, does that make it easier. You can promote pretty much anything under the sun and you'll get, even if it's 0.001% of people, they're probably going to buy from you because they like you. They wouldn't have been following you if they didn't like you. So that's my first.
That's your first one. You're over delivering because I pulled out 2 or 3 things. I just want to tease them apart before you move on to, I think, number 2.
Okay.
The first thing was publish an entire year and don't stop. But another thing that I think was really important that you said, and I want to point this out, was that you were consistent with a platform until you built up momentum, and then you moved on and started building up another platform. First for you, it was YouTube, then TikTok, then you started a Facebook group, all the while building your email list. And guys, I want to separate those two because building your email list is building your own digital database. When you're on YouTube and TikTok and Facebook, those are not your databases. I just want to be clear about this. That is an audience, but that is not your database. You are leveraging their database to build your database. But just to recap, you publish an entire year, and you didn't have this, but this is almost like a 1.2 of that first point. Really go all in on a platform till you get momentum. In Jamar, it doesn't come right away, right? You said your first year was $500. You were in debt.
Yeah.
I
was underwater. I had about 500 subscribers January 1st, right? So I've been doing YouTube for 6 months. And I didn't have I wasn't leveraging TikTok or whatever. I was just trying to figure out SEO. I only had 500 subscribers. I probably had 500 people on my email list the first 6 months. And I had made, like I said, less than $500. Most people would have quit at that point.
Well, you had hit that first milestone, which is I've got some leads and I made my first commission. And I want everybody to understand that you get to one milestone and that gives you sort of the juice to get to the next milestone. It's sort of like going fishing, getting a big bite. That's a milestone. That keeps you coming back. You may not have caught the fish, but you got the big bite. Okay. Number 2.
All right. So we already kind of touched on it, and I'm segueing into consistency. And I want to make a point here. Stop making excuses, right? You're responsible for the own work that you put in. We're all tired. There are days that we're like, oh, I don't really want to make a YouTube video. Or it's like, oh, it's 9 o'clock at night. Like I haven't posted any TikTok videos. Like, oh, maybe I'll just push it till tomorrow. Stop procrastinating. be true to yourself and what you're actually trying to accomplish, right? You might hear my dog barking in the background. Be true to yourself and where are you really trying to go, right? Stop lying to yourself, because it's so easy to procrastinate and to make excuses. Just do it, right? I'm going to sound like a Nike ad. Just do it. It doesn't matter if it's 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. or you're in your car, or even, all right, I'm not going to advise this, but if you have a spare minute at a stoplight and you're driving to and from work and you know that that's the only, gap in time in your day, because our days are busy, film a TikTok video at a freaking stoplight, right? Stop making excuses that it's so hard or I don't have time. Find a way to become consistent, and your life will change with that consistency. Not just in it changes your mindset. When you start being consistent, that means you're like checking off boxes, right? You're goal setting, and you're like, okay, today, how about this? Everybody in the comments section right now, I guys want you to finish this sentence. This is like ad lib, right? Today, I will blank. If you guys are getting value out of this interview, I would love it if you guys gave me a thumbs up. Also, if you're not subscribed, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be notified when I come out with more videos with value just like this one. And to finish the sentence, let me know in the comments section down below what goals you are trying to break through in 2021. I'd love to hear from you guys. Let's get back to the interview. And that is super powerful. Every day you wake up, you should think, today I will accomplish, or today I will do this for yourself, for your physical health, for your mental health, for your business. What are you trying to accomplish every day? Have that in mind. Stay consistent.
Love it. Straightforward. Very clear.
I mean, people really struggle with this every single day. I talk to people on a daily basis.
Yep.
And their thing to me is excuses. And I'm like, I'm with you. I want to make excuses too, but I stopped doing that in 2020 and my life has completely changed. All right, cool. Let's move on. This one is really, and people can go back in my YouTube videos, document your journey. And I know people beat this up all the time, but your journey is what connects you with people, because then you become relatable, right? They can, and not only that, but when you document it, they can go back and look at your terrible YouTube videos, right? The crappy editing, crappy video, you struggling, looking like a deer in headlights in front. They love to see that. They love the relatability. If you document your journey, people will build an emotional connection with you, because they're like, wow, this person went through what I went through just 6 months ago. And wow, look where they are now. They look so confident in front of, in the camera.
That's what I was just thinking.
They got that nice crisp, a video screen now. And they're like, wow, this guy's like, he went from that to this in just 6 months. Like, if he can do it, like, there's nothing different between me. It's that relatability. So if you document your journey, people will really grasp onto that. If you're consistent in putting out content each and every single day, documenting it, people want to follow your story. There's nothing, I don't want to overcomplicate it any more than just literally just detail everything you're learning, all the actions you're taking, your wins, your losses, your failures, how you picked yourself up from your failures, and how you're moving forward with your business. Tell your story.
Well, we got 173 people on right now who are listening to this, and I'm just wondering. I don't want you guys to get distracted from the content that Jamar's dropping here, but he gave you guys a little call to action there, a challenge to write down what you guys were going to do today, and I wonder how many of the 170 people did that. That's why we do these every morning. Connect, declare, commit to what you're doing today. I want to just say that I think a lot of people hear somebody like yourself and say, oh man, he must always look this good and sounded this good. You touched right on it. But it's like, man, if you guys only knew how much we grow in just 6 months, how much we grow, how much you can grow in just a month. I mean, you literally can have a
Amazing.
breakthrough. You can have a breakthrough to where you just shed a layer of your onion, and you just say, I'm just not going to care anymore. Or you stop, like, all that insecurity. It just gets kind of peeled away layer by layer. All of that worrying about what other people think, all that just all that worry, anxiety, fear. It layer by layer, it gets peeled away, and we step into our best self. We step into our best self. Suddenly we begin living for ourselves, not all the people that we don't even like. Somehow we give them so much power, right? Oh gosh, what if so and so sees my video on YouTube, or what if right? We just stop giving those people so much power, and we like literally, it's like the transformation, from the cocoon, boom. It's like suddenly one day you're a butterfly, baby. All right. Anything you want to add to that, or hit us with, I think we're on number 3.
We're about to go to number 4, but but before we go there, I got something up on the other monitor here that I've been hitting on a lot inside of my I do a lot of TikTok lives. Everybody wants to sit in the comfort zone, and I understand, because we're like conditioned our whole lives to run from adversity, right? For run from anything that's going to disrupt that feels safe and in control, right? And the comfort zone is great, but it's not great if you're trying to build an online business. The reason for this is because there is a massive fear wall that I've recognized over the last couple of years of working with people, of helping people start their online businesses. I'm not just an affiliate marketer. Sometimes I feel like I'm like a psychologist, because people's limiting beliefs prevent them from accomplishing great things. That fear zone comes from people's lack of self-confidence. It comes from, they just find a lot of excuses, and they are, like you said, affected by other people's opinions. What's Aunt Sally going to think? What's Dave, my coworker, going to think that I'm trying to build an online business? And that prevents them from moving forward. And if they only knew that if they just got to the next level, the learning zone, they would start learning how to deal with challenges, and they would be crushing them on a day-to-day basis. You would be acquiring new skills, and you would be extending that comfort zone just a couple layers out, which allows for amazing growth. And when you get into that learning zone, you then make the switch into the growth zone, right? You start finding purpose. Why am I doing this? You start living your dreams, right? Because with your online business comes, added financial resources. So you start doing things maybe with your family or other things, maybe that extra vacation you wanted every year. You start living those dreams in the growth zone, right? Then you're like, okay, well, if I can crush these goals, I can go out and I can crush even bigger goals, because there's nothing stopping me. I'm in the learning and growth zone right now. And conquering those objectives on a day-to-day basis not only empowers you to change your life, but you're changing the life of your family. You're changing the life of the people that you're connected to, right? You're changing the life of people who are following you. It's like a ripple effect. And it all started from going outside of that, from that safe zone. Like it's great. 99% of us want to sit in that safe zone, but we don't start online businesses to be in the comfort zone. We're trying to empower people to make a positive change in their lives. And you do that by living in the growth zone. Okay. So that's my little comfort zone. I talk about that a lot because I get that a lot in my TikToks. People talk about a lot of the same things, and I see it over and over and over again. So I try to tackle it with a little bit of psychology, like, hey, we need to live in the learning and the growth zone. Stop living in the comfort zone. Like it's fun being comfortable all the time, but get comfortable being uncomfortable. All right. So the step number 4 is share. And this is different from document your journey. When you learn something, share it. And by sharing, you're educating. I have a whiteboard that sits to the left of me. On the screen here, it's probably the opposite side, but I have a whiteboard here that I literally, every time I go to a TikTok live, not only do I answer questions, but I turn my phone, on my stand, and I I write down what it is I want to teach. I learn something, I teach it. And when you teach something to somebody, it's very empowering to them, because then they're like, this guy knows, number one, this guy knows what he's talking about, you know? And then they're like, well, where did this guy learn this stuff? And then I say, after I go through and I talk about an affiliate modeling mag, I talk about value ladders, I talk about, you know, bridge funnels, I talk about different ways to do affiliate marketing, I talk about organic traffic, I talk about paid traffic. And then people are like, well, I want to learn that stuff. Will you be my mentor? And I said, well, I don't have a coaching program. However, you know, I know an amazing company and I know an amazing, you know, education platform that will teach you the skills you need to be successful. And that's, I don't sell, I teach. So that's been my angle over the last 6 to 8 months. And wow, has everything changed. Education first.
We need to bring back the sound effects when a bomb goes off, a value bomb goes off. I'm stressing right now because I would be hitting that. I'd be, you know, I don't want any other sound effects. I just want a bomb, and I just want a big button on my desk when I just hit it when a value bomb goes off. That was a value bomb. I mean, don't sell, just teach. And then give subtle little calls to action or make invitations or recommendations. It's such a beautiful, powerful point, because everybody, Jamar, thinks they need to become a salesperson, man.
Right.
Golly, you just annihilated that in such simple terms.
Yeah, and educating empowers people to make a positive change in their life, right? When we learn things, we take action. Majority of the time, right? Because not everybody and everyone uses the analogy like we don't just hop on a bike and start riding. Like, somebody needs to teach you how to ride a bike. And when you're taught how to ride a bike and you actually do it for the first time, you're empowered to be like, all right, I'm going to ride from Washington, D.C. to California now because I know how to ride a bike. Right. And if you just give people just that little bit of education where it's like, it's not as confused, it's not as difficult as you may think it is. If you can kind of simplify it, it really allows people to, because what you want them to do is make that first step, right? It's that first step is what's going to allow them on their journey. And they won't make that first step because that huge fear wall I was talking about, right? The comfort zone. There's a huge fear wall. What if I fail? You know, what do other people think? You know, this, that, and the other. If you give them the tools through education they need to succeed, then they will take that first step. That's been a huge change in what I've done in 2020, vice just trying to figure things out in 2019. But those things take time. Those things take time because you're still learning, right? And I'm still learning. I'm like deep in a Google Ads course right now. I'm still learning every single day. But as I learn things, I share them with other people.
And that's the point that I want you guys to hear, because I saw a comment come through that, well, you need to learn, you need to know stuff. No, you don't. Stop. No, you don't.
No, you don't.
Just learn, do, teach. That's it.
That's an imposter syndrome.
Wait, guy, hold on. Did Dave just give me permission to share knowledge, even if I'm not the expert who originally invented that knowledge? Yes, I did, because maybe I do. I need like a siren also, because just think there's a siren going off. Guys, you're not going to have an original thought. You're not going to say something that nobody's ever heard before. What you're doing is you're taking information that somebody may not already have in front of them, and you're taking it from over here. Preferably, you're taking the information and at least testing or trying it. And then you're sharing it and saying, I learned this incredible method or this incredible strategy. I tried it. Here's the results I got from it. I think I can do better. You can probably do better than me. But here's the idea of the concept. Like, that's the whole learn, do, teach principle. You can also, as sort of the journalistic approach to marketing, you can go and get information and just put it in front of people and say, hey, I don't know if this works or not, but it seems to be working for this guy. This is who I learned it from. You can even give credit. That's a totally cool thing to do, right? They talk about that, you know, in all kinds of different classes and journalism. You know, give credit the person who you heard it from. And I wanted to put this in front of you. You see people doing that on TikTok. They go they duet with people. You know, there's so many different ways to create content, even if you are not the person who invented the method, or the person who even is executing on that particular strategy. I see that in you. That's one of the things that I want to kind of point out and validate you for, is that you have like really blossomed. And you say, I love teaching, but I wonder if when you started, you even you gave yourself permission to actually share and teach. I wonder if you could touch on that for a second, because I think so many people think, well, I don't have the credentials, or I don't have the success or whatever to sort of teach things, right? To share things
Right.
like that. Could you touch on that for a moment, what you've gone through with that?
So Dave, everybody goes through the imposter syndrome. Everybody, especially the first 6 months, the first year, when you're trying to build an audience and to validate, you know, because to promote products, you want people to believe that the products that you're promoting will empower them, you know, to make a positive change in their life. May it be in their own business, or if it's a physical or digital product, doesn't really matter. What I try to explain to people is that imposter syndrome only lasts for so long, because when you learn something, even if you're 1 week into your journey, when you learn something, you're 1 week ahead of somebody who doesn't know what they don't know, right? You're 1 week ahead, even if it's just, okay, I only learned 2 or 3 things. Like I learned, you know, what a funnel is, and I learned how to connect my email autoresponder. Well, guess what? To a beginner, you're like light years ahead. And that imposter syndrome, you got to get rid of it, because even if you learn just one, even if it's somewhat insignificant, you can actually, you're farther ahead just learning one thing than somebody who's a beginner. I want people to really, really understand this, because people think, well, it's just like you said, like, well, I don't really, you know, I've only been doing this for a month. Like, I don't even really know what I'm doing. How am I supposed to teach it? Teach what you know. Teach what you've learned, right? You go through the business blueprints, and there's amazing information in there. If you take that information and you give bits and pieces to people, it's like the hook. You know, people are like, wow, this person's learning some life-changing skills over here. Like, if they're talking to me like this after a month, like, what could I do? What things can I accomplish in a month? If this person can do it, I can do it. So that imposter syndrome is normal. I think I dealt with it for all of 2019. And then I got to the point where I was like, wow, I've made a lot of YouTube videos and I taught a lot of people a lot of things, you know? And I'm like, I should really start to shed this and just start going into teaching mode, because in the Coast Guard, I've had jobs where I was an instructor, where I stood in front of a classroom and I taught people how to do advanced avionics, electrical troubleshooting, right? So I was enlisted working on aircraft, and they moved me into a job for 3 years where I stood in front of a classroom and I taught students how to do this stuff. So I was almost, and I had imposter syndrome teaching people things when it came to digital and affiliate marketing. And then here I am thinking, I'm like, but I'm an instructor. I literally have in my military record, I have, you know, instructor, like there's a code in there that's like, I'm a teacher in the Coast Guard.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I need to take this and translate it over to, how can I translate this over to, and I started doing this earlier this year. How do I translate me and standing in front of a classroom to, how do I deliver this in front of the camera and on TikTok and in front of my phone? And wow, did things change. Like 180 things changed.
I think when we really look at all of us, our lives, we've been that instructor, that manager, that leader, that that mentor, that just person who is one grade, one step ahead in so many instances in our lives. And if we can just reach back into those moments, right, and remember who we were, how we showed up, versus the moments when we were, you know, feeling like we were a fish out of water, we were new or whatever, if we can tap into those feelings of being that leader, instructor, manager, one step ahead, one grade ahead, to where we were sort of in charge, man, that's who we want to show up as, you know, not in those moments of insecurity where we felt lost, you know. And so many of us, I think we just have that tendency to slip back in and connect with that part of ourselves. And we all have it. We all have that fearful, insecure part of ourselves. It's part of being human. That's one of the reasons why I want to do these lives with people like yourself every day, is because I want to demystify and I want to normalize feelings that we have, because that, you know, I want all of you guys to remember that we're not psychopaths here. And why I say that is that we're not people who without feelings. Like, I think that people look at people who are successful and they think, oh, they must never feel feelings. And it's like, I feel such a range of feelings each and every day. Anxiety, fear, depression,
Absolutely.
excitement, like you know, all of them every day. I feel all of those feelings. And you know, mastery is really about managing those emotions and being able to act anyways. If you're feeling nervous, one of the great ways that I channel my anxiety is by working. You know, instead of just sitting around being paralyzed, I work. It's one of the things that why I've got this set up in the garage, and why I'm working this month. I'm supposed to be working as much because my son was just born, but I keep carving out time. I make sure my wife's supported. I make sure we got help, a family member over, and I come out here and channel all my, you know what I mean? All my feelings, and I just go to work. And I've rebuilt our blueprints course. We're going to be releasing that in January. It's going to be, you know, free lifetime upgrades, of course, for that. It's going to be mind-blowing and astonishing and impactful as hell. But it's amazing the work that we can get done when we're having feelings of anxiety or pent up or anger or fear. Like, if we learn to channel those emotions productively, it's really life-changing. Touch on that, or let's move on to number 5.
Yeah, I mean, we're all human beings, right? I mean, we all have these feelings every day. Coming on before this live, right? Ooh, I started doing the same thing as Dave, like, ooh, you know, just like I had to like jump up and down and shake it off, you know. But we're all human beings. We have anxieties. It's how you deal with them, right? It's how you channel them. It's exactly how you said. It's how you channel it is how you can get in that learning and growth zone, right? That I talked about. Let's get into the last piece here. This is what I think everybody should be doing as a beginner. Model success. Success leaves clues. The last thing is basically funnel hack and content hack people. Figure out who you like, who you resonate with, who are people who might be a few levels ahead of you. Consume their content, see what's working for them, go in, get on their email list, check out their funnels, because they're doing something that's working for them, like that's relevant today. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. I tried to do a lot of this. I tried to, you know, in 2019, I was just all over the place because I did want to be, I wanted to be I wanted to stand out amongst my peers in how I delivered my content. The type of content that I was giving out was a little more technical, was over the shoulder, like watch me build, you know, a campaign. And it was like an hour-long video. And that definitely works. But also don't be afraid to mix in what's working for other people, whether it's on TikTok or, you know, inside Facebook, you know, building Facebook groups or, you know, filming YouTube videos. Just watch what content creators are doing, model their success. And I watch all these, you know, I watch how Jonathan Montoya delivers his, I mean, the dude's an educator. He's a total machine, but watch how he's delivering his education. He's educating every single time he puts himself in front of the camera, right? Nathan Lucas, what is he doing on his channel that's allowed him his growth over the last few years? Why do people resonate with his message? And how can you take your own messaging and deliver it the same way that he's delivering it, right? So I look at all these different content creators and I'm like, okay. And then I just make it my own, in my own message, in my own, you know, in my own way. Everybody needs to find what works best for them, but you don't need to really reinvent the wheel. You just need to do what you see is working for other people. So that is my fifth step. And I'm going to quickly segue here into what we spoke before we went live, Dave, which is be constantly investing in yourself, whether it's time, you know, if you have the financial resources, because you will see a huge return. And I recently, I've invested in myself multiple times this year. I was able to sit in on a mastermind by Tom Beal. If you've never come across him, the guy is an amazing marketer, salesman. Well, he talks about the SW4, and I'd never really heard about this, and I'm a military guy, so I'm all about acronyms. What the SW4 is some will, some won't, so what, someone's waiting. All right, you guys catch that? Some will, which means some people will resonate with you. Some people will buy from you, but an equal amount of people will not buy from you and they will not resonate with you, and that's okay. Why? Because it doesn't matter. Who cares? So what? There is literally somebody standing right behind them. They're waiting to be delivered, for your message to be delivered to them. And the way you do that, you beat this, SW4, is by creating, I mean, we're literally bringing it full circle, is by creating content like a madman. You deliver content every single day for a year, and your life is going to change because you're going to be able to get in front of so many more people who are waiting to hear your message.
My brother, very proud of you and thrilled that you are now coming on and, you know, given incredible value in teaching our community here, as somebody who came in, who was, you know, floundering and new and had that newbie complex that you talked about that we all have when we first start, and to see you, step into your power, to your best self, to your purpose, is really inspiring, and it's just a beautiful thing.
Means a lot, Dave. I appreciate it.
Many people have asked where to find you. Your last name is, we don't have it up here.
It's Jones.
It's Jones. So I thought it was. I didn't want to guess wrong, but Jamar Jones, super easy. So guys, look him up. You know, I've seen several comments in the about, where do I do this or where do I do this, and it's like, guys, there's an element here of being resourceful. There's an element of, I don't even want to do everything for you guys, because if we teach you how to be dependent, you're not going to be independent. And the last thing we want is a community full of dependent people, dependent on, it's sort of like the animal that is in, that is sort of domesticated, right? So if you take a lion, you bring him in, you put him in a zoo, and then 5 years later, you take him out and put him into the wild, he doesn't know how to hunt. Now that may not be true, but you understand the analogy that it's true with most animals that are in, that are in zoos and so forth. So we want to make sure that we never lose that sort of, that instinct to be resourceful, to create, to produce. And that's another thing that I've taken away from you in your kind of how you operate, Jamar, is you've tapped into that instinct. You've tapped into both who you are, but also previous things that you've learned from the Coast Guard in your service. You've tapped into those instinctual things and not let fear and insecurity and so forth dominate you. And it's, brother, it is inspiring, and I'm just so thrilled to talk to you today and get an update, and promise me that you'll come back and do it again here in a couple of months.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'll definitely come back. What I want people to realize is that it doesn't just start and end with affiliate marketing, right? We have the core four, right? And that core four is, when you learn those skills, they are life changing. Now that I have a lot larger of an audience, I have people, the one question I get every single day is affiliate marketing too saturated? I don't know if it's just because they're on TikTok and they just see people, promoting stuff all day long. And they're like, man, it just is like, I'm being bombarded. It's so saturated. And I tell people, I said, do you realize it just doesn't start and begin and end like with one program? There are hundreds of thousands of programs out there. I get contacted almost daily via email now of people. There aren't enough affiliate marketers out there. There aren't enough digital marketers out there because people are reaching out to me every single day like, hey, I need help. I got this new product and I want to promote it to real estate agents and I need help. And I'm like, well, I don't really know a lot about this, but I might know somebody that I can point you in the direction to. But what I'm trying to say is those skills that you're developing, they're lifelong skills that you can go in 100 different directions. A couple months ago, I booked a client to build a high ticket coaching funnel for somebody, right? Because he doesn't know anything about funnels. He doesn't know anything about sales process or, doing any of like what people would consider the tech portion of it. And I said, all right, well, let's get on a Zoom meeting. Let me see what you're really looking for. And let me see if my skills are enough to set up what you need. We had a Zoom call, a business call, and this has nothing to do with affiliate marketing. This has everything to do with the skills and learning how to build a sales funnel. It's an application funnel with a membership area in the back end, right? So he can coach his clients. But because I started affiliate marketing and because I've built funnels and I know what a sales funnel is and I know how to drive traffic organically and paid traffic, I start putting all these different pieces together. And wow, now I can charge for my skills, right? So now I can sit here and go, okay, how does X amount sound? You know your worth at that point because you've invested the time, your own funds to build up these skills. And now a year or two into it, you're like, man, I could charge this guy 10 grand, to put together a sales funnel that may, only take you, a week to put together, but they're paying for your experience and time. Right. And that is, to me, this year, and I'm not always going to do because I don't have a ton of spare time. I took the project on really to prove to myself that I could build a sales funnel for a client. But I also wanted to validate my experience, right? Can I put together something, get this guy leads and sales, right? Now I have somebody who will go to bat for me. If he's making leads, if he's getting leads and sales on a daily basis, it just takes my brand, one more step higher where this guy's like, hey, this guy's the real deal. We're driving traffic. I'm making sales. I'm getting coaching clients every day. And it allows me for some more social proof. That's why I took the project on.
And you should be stalking him for a testimonial.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And likely he'll give you one, even if you don't ask. Actually, I retract that. You always have to ask.
During this interview, he's texting me like, hey, we're getting leads like crazy. Like, and I'm like, it's okay. Like we can handle this, no big deal.
It's called transferable skills. And it's I talk about it actually right in the challenge. Like if you guys want to know what Jamar is talking about, I talk about it on day one of the challenge, just how you can eventually, you don't even have to stop doing, everybody thinks that they have to stop doing affiliate marketing. You can actually do all of the core 4 business models at the same time. You have a front door and then you have an email list and a Facebook group that you're constantly putting out content and offers to. It's a simple concept when you understand it, and you understand how powerful it is, building up your own database and building up your audience and how you can use these skills. You have laid out, in clear terminology. Hopefully people understand it. Maybe they didn't understand it from me or whoever else, but hopefully today you laying it out has made it clear how, powerful this knowledge is. It's like the first time I walked into a Home Depot and just helped a guy out with a toilet question that he had, and he gave me $100. And I thought, gee, I just made 2 days of pay with a simple piece of advice. And,
Right.
my career, like, I've never looked back. I've always sold my advice and my knowledge since then. So, brother, thank you so much. Keep up the great work. We dropped your YouTube link on there, and you guys can follow Jamar on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Jamar Jones.
I have some great stuff coming up on my YouTube channel. Upgraded some audio, visual, lighting, YouTube channel. Huge goals for myself. I still look at YouTube as my number one place where I love to. It's a love-hate relationship with the editing, but like,
Sure.
I'm not a perfectionist, but like, I'm trying to deliver the best quality content. I don't post every single day, but the videos that I post, I want maximum value, right? So I'm a little more of quality over quantity, but I have huge goals for my YouTube channel because there's so much more. There's ad revenue, there's building your tribe, a stronger tribe, and stuff like that. And I'm at close to 6,000. Huge goals, like I want 50,000 plus, in 2021. But everybody should be out there setting small, medium, and long-term goals for themselves in whatever platform that you guys are jumping into. Make 2021 the year that changes for you, because it is going to be. There's a lot of. We're in transition next year, right? Whether it may be, in the government with the virus and everything. We're hoping 2021 is going to be an amazing year of transformation. Allow that transformation to happen within your own personal life and your own online business.
Touche, my brother. Couldn't have said it better. Give my best to your family. Stay well, stay safe.
I will. Merry Christmas to you and yours.
Merry Christmas, and we'll talk to you later, my brother.
Everybody have a great Christmas. Until the next time, have a great New Year's as well.
Be legendary, my brother. Stay legendary. All right, guys. There you have it. Get into the challenge if you're floundering around. Get into the blueprints if you can. You will continue to receive value and the step-by-step systems and skills that you need to be able to follow in people like Jamar's footsteps. And go out there and live up to your full potential and to hit your goals and to do the things that you want to do. Meet us back here tomorrow. Wake Up Legendary. By the way, 5 days a week we do this. We 5 days a week we have somebody from our community come on and talk to you and deliver value. And I still see some people in the comments going, what do I do? I mean, come on, guys. If going through our content and listening every day to superstars like Jamar, who, by the way, are just regular people, me too, sitting here in my garage, just streaming to you live on a Monday morning. Look, there's so much knowledge here. Some of us have to just fix our brains. Our brains are broken. Our thinking, our mindset, it's broken. And if you can just commit, like I said, and like Jamar said, to doing this for a year, both consuming the content that we put out here and listening to these conversations while creating and overcoming your fears and insecurities, like Jamar said, you will be a different person 1 year from now. That's a promise.
If you made it to the end of this video, thank you very much for sticking around. Hopefully you got a ton of value from it. If you're not subscribed already, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. There's tons of great content coming out on my channel in 2021. I believe 2021 is going to be a year of transition and a year of growth, not just for me and my channel, but for you guys in your affiliate marketing businesses. All right, I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.